Bad credit, small business loans that work today without collateral, no hard credit checks, and even no interest rates, and so much more. I will be covering all of this and so much more into detail in a moment. But before I get started, if this is the first time you are watching me, my name is Michael from Viral Funding Solutions, and I come out with content like this all across this channel, on the blog, social media, and in all places, talking about how to get the right loans, how to build your business credit, how to fix your credit, how to take advantage of opportunities as they come, and so much more. So if you have not subscribed, please go ahead and do so and click that bell notification icon so you do not miss any future videos I will be coming out with. This is streaming live. So what I want to start off with is, if you're here, give me a hashtag live. If on replay, hashtag replay. I want to jump into this as soon as possible. So I'll start off by saying this. You can get accepted with as little as a 450 plus FICO credit score. Just think about that for a second. Second gone. Now, most places will not accept that. They're looking at least a 500, 550 and above. And I'm going to talk about why these are acceptable in some cases and why they are not in others. And I've come out with a video just recently that I'll try to link to you down below on how these have changed. But with as little as a 450 plus FICO, if you have strong enough of, your revenue is consistent, cash flow is good, deposits, those bank statements look good, and other details in there like time in business and some other things to consider, a 450 and above can be realistic. In a lot of cases, we look at a 550 and above. Sometimes we can get you in with as little as a 500. It just depends on the service you are going after. So some can qualify you for 450, bad credit, small business loans. You have 500, 550 and above is usually a bigger barometer. 550, I say that because a lot of the times anything underneath that, if you've tried to apply, maybe you have, and we've spoken and you've been disapproved, you're like, well, I have the revenue, I have the time in business. It's just a credit score and all this doesn't look good. Well, it's because a lot of lenders, they have decided to pull away. Reason being is because a lot of people, they end up in collections, they end up complaining, they end up defaulting, they end up wanting to get deferments that just don't work. And so when that happens, it all reflects onto us, and we don't want to get those people complaining or those people coming to us about it. And it just doesn't happen to be the case where we can help you always in that situation. So 450 and above, yes, if you have stronger cash flow, that can definitely help you, more time in business and some things in the background. We get to understand more, then we can get you that. Now, there are some more automatic processes, then there are some manual ones. So you need to understand that an automatic process, a lot of the times it can be just linking up your banking verification information, and that is very safe and secure. I'll show you one of those processes, and then I'll also show you how to get a bad credit small business loan with a more manual process and what that entails. But you just need to know that they exist and to what degree you can qualify for them, and how much you can get up to is what you are asking. But they are available. And what I want to do now is I want to get into the share screen and show you where you can go get a bad credit small business loan. And I get not everybody is commenting live because of the time that I'm making this. Everybody is busy. But if you are here, feel free to give me a wave. And if there are any questions at the end of this, I will make sure to answer them for you. So there's a company here called David Allen Capital Inc., where you can get up to $2 million incredibly fast funding within a day of approval, within the 1 to 2 days of funding, as much as a week, depending on your file. But with this specific service, up to $2 million, you can get accepted with as little as a 500 FICO. See how that's bad credit, poor credit? So we have that capability here to help you out, as you can see here. And I'll leave more information down below in the description that gives you a more full, thorough video on them and what to expect. But as little as a 500 FICO is what we're asking for. If you're doing $15,000 a month in monthly revenue within each of the last 3 months, That's acceptable with the 500 FICO. Business can reside anywhere in the US. You only need a minimum of 4 months. If you are not a business that's in the US, perhaps Canada, out in Puerto Rico, then I'll leave some recommendations for that down below. So again, personal credit score, all we ask for is a 500 FICO. So you can see how this is related to the title of this video and the purpose that it is a bad credit business loan. As long as you're doing $15,000 per month within each of the last months, we also take into account the average. So preferably $15,000 and above, an average monthly revenue would help the case. So industry, over 700 industries have been served, and so forth. So again, there will be a video down below in the description. There's also their Bank Breezy program with as little as a 450 plus FICO, with 5,000 plus monthly in bank revenue within each of the last 3 months. Business checking account, 6 months in business, 450 FICO, as I said. All industries are included. Get more when you need it. Payment history will earn you more. Get to receive funds time and time again. Get add-on funds that are available, and a personalized account manager to hold you by the hand, so you don't have to feel worried or stressed or like this kind of like wolf out in the wild, just out in nowhere, not sure where to turn to. You'll have somebody, and then myself as well on top of that. And if you needed more than that 25,000, the requirements would be to have 15,000 per month in monthly bank revenue each of the last 3 months, a business checking account, the time in business, of course, as I mentioned earlier, and the 500 plus FICO. The exception that when you come through Bank Breezy here, let me move this out of the screen. When you come through a bad credit business loan and you see Bank Breezy here, a lot of people have reached out to me. They're saying, well, I have the revenue, I have the time in business, and their credit score isn't where it needs to be. Yes, they saw 450, and we can accept to a certain degree of 450. Like I said earlier, cash flow, background, bank statements, how they better look clean. The remaining bank balance at the end of the month, the starting bank balance, transaction types, amount of deposits. This can all help the case. And then industry-wise, it can as well, or it can hurt you. But for people who are like, well, I only have a 530 FICO, I only had a 480, but they said, the thing is, like I said, lenders will pull away and they'll shy away because they don't want to. I don't want to deal with that all that either. They don't want to be hearing like you went into collections, you did this, you're trying to lawsuits. Really, that's not even credible. You shouldn't even be doing that. That's not something with the company. That's more of a problem you're dealing with. And so I get it why they've pulled away. So a 550 is much more desirable. So you can still get approved with the 500 with the up to 2 million. With Bank Breezy, 450 still, but there are some exceptions. With the Bank Breezy, preferably be doing a 550 and above, so 550 FICO. And so you can get approved through David Allen Capital here with that. And we don't report to the Dun & Bradstreet or the main credit bureaus. So you can keep that on the back of your mind. We will just look at your personal FICO credit score just so we can evaluate what have you been paying on time? Are you responsible? What amount? Utilization ratio, debt to income ratio, all these different components to help you understand if you will qualify for this bad credit small business loan. Now, this is more considered a cash advance depending on the state you're in, and a cash advance simply is where you get an advanced amount of money. Usually it's dependent on credit card processing, credit card receipts, debit card receipts, but we're not a traditional merchant cash advance where we take a future percentage of your credit card receivables. This is not that. We are a hybrid, generally less expensive. My preferred method, we can give you between 4 to 24 months if you're in 15,000 and above. If you're doing the line of credit program, which I'll show you in a moment, we can do about 6 to 9 to 12 months repayment, weekly automatically deducted. The lump sum amount, 15,000 and above. Again, like I said, 4 to 24 months. If you're with Bank Breezy, that's 4 to 6 months. And even if you have strong enough revenue, we can still get you those 6 months. And it just depends on your funding details. I have so many people every day who are like, well, I have strong enough revenue. This should overcompensate my credit score. That's like maybe what? Let's say you have a FICO credit score of 580. And I have another video that I gave you guys a clear example on the term expectations and the rate expectations. So I'll try to link to that video down below that goes through these examples more in depth. But I spoke about how some people, they have like a 580 FICO or 560, 550, around that range, but they have strong enough revenue. They're doing, let's say, let me move this over. Let's say you're doing 60,000 above, you're averaging between 70,000 to 80K per month, or within those 3 months. Then with the 580 FICO, you're thinking, well, I should be getting at least 7 to 10 months. I should be getting at least 11 to 12 to 24. That's what you think. But there are underwriting guidelines to this. And if you haven't been tuning into my channel and you've been following me for some time and you still didn't know this, it's because you haven't been opening up the content. You haven't been watching the videos you're supposed to be watching. So I'm trying to come out with a course that should be for free, but it'll encompass everything you need to know from step by step, what you should be looking at. Because most people, let's be honest, when I send emails out, are you even opening them? Are you opening them and reading them? And are you opening them up, reading them, and then clicking through? Not everybody is. And when you're clicking through, it's another thing to read the comment, the blog post. It's another thing to watch the video, the videos, the social media. This is all very educational. It can be entertaining at the same time, not in all cases. But if you're not doing that and you're asking questions, you're not plugging in. At that point, when the information is given to you, you're trying to waste somebody else's time and their energy, especially their energy. And I value those two things. I'm very punctual. So I don't mind helping you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if the content is there, if the questions are answered in that video or they're right there, take a little bit of time. Come back to it when you have it. And there are some things that we need more clarity on that I will help you with. So much so that there is one way you guys can go ahead and get a hold of me if you guys are asking, well, where can I get started outside of here? I want to know what my options are. Well, I have a business questionnaire form that I'm going to go ahead and put right now on the screen. This questionnaire, it's not an application. Perhaps you've seen this and you've come through. And if you are currently waiting, I will do my best to get back to you. I get a lot of files and it's me who's completing these. We don't have a team of like 10 people. This is my business. And you can see how I have multiple things to do in a day, that it's always in your best interest to be as resourceful as possible. Get the funding your business needs fast. Complete the questionnaire form below to get a personalized and customized email response for your best funding option and options. Plus, you get a free 6-step pre-approval lending checklist to get you approved for funding much faster. So here is what it would look like, more or less. Fill out some simple funding details. Very straightforward. It can be completed in less than 30 seconds, to be honest with you, if you have it there. There's not much to ask for. It's just stuff you know about your business on the front end. And then about us, just a few things, how it works, and some of the expectations of what you're going to be going through here. But it is a very personalized and customized approach to getting you business funding. A lot of people have gone through this and they've raved about it. They've actually said thank you. I'm very appreciative and humbled of that. If you, for the first time are watching me, and you've probably been around for some time, you know that I'm a very introverted person. So I'm very systematic about what I do. If somebody else is like, well, you're like, oh, well, this person gets on the call with me every second and tell me, let's talk again in 3 days. I'm not saying that's not good. I'm not saying it's not wrong. What I'm saying is there's a systematic approach to all of this, and I can get on the call if need be. But if it's an out of the blue phone call, if it's something that I'm not familiar with, I don't even have this information in front of me that you submitted, it's like, where is this conversation going? I need to spend at least the most 10 to 15 minutes on that, or being able to direct message or text, and with a shadow of a doubt know that this is what I have to cover. So the best thing in your best interest is to fill out that questionnaire form, which I will leave down below in the description when this is later uploaded. But I know some people here are watching, and again, we're all busy. It's okay. I get a lot of people sometimes that comment, and I get a lot of people who don't. It's just a time frame, and I didn't announce this, but it will be uploaded onto the channel. So those are a lot of reasons why. But like I said, to recap all this, let me go into this really quickly. So this isn't so much of a bad credit business loan. We're looking at a line of credit now. With a 550 FICO, you can get approved for. In many cases, it can be 600 and above, but you can withdraw and use the funds whenever you would like. So you can get approved from 5,000 to 100,000 at this moment, and that maximum can change over time. It's simple and fast. You get to receive a decision in 1 business day and as fast as 1 hour, requiring you only to have a soft credit pull, as low as a 550 FICO. So that is categorized in that bad credit, fueling business growth better fee structure, and receive approval up to 100K. Take funds out as you need them, automatically weekly repayment, new draws, and revolving limits. So if you did not want to get a lump sum, let's say you have cash flow problems. I've seen, look guys, I've seen it and I've heard it all. I've seen the excuses that come out of people's bums. I've seen people, I know the psychology of this 100% because I've been through it myself. I've received funding time and time again for my own businesses, whether it has been recently or not. I've been there, done that. I've spoken with EIDL loan officers. I know the SBA loans. I know the cash advances, the bank term loans, the online bank term loans, online business lines of credit solutions, the lenders that I have great relationships with, the underwriters, the different brokerages, how they connect you, the online marketplaces, if that's good or not. And at the end of the day, it's just a matter of a fear. It's a matter of believing that this can actually, one, work for you, and two, unsure of the process if it is safe and secure. And I can tell you firsthand, at least from the program here that I've been showing you with, where you can get the best offer, we go and shop for the best offer and present to you the best one, by far, with the best lenders. I've seen it time and time again. I have people today who've already been approved who are getting their funds tomorrow. But if you're waiting, if you're on the fence because you don't know the application process, maybe you don't even know me. Maybe this is the first time you are watching me and you're like, who's this guy? Well, I remember how, when I was working, at a point, I had to say, do I go back to school for another year? Do I go get more certifications? Or do I go get another 9-to-5? So I had to venture out and I had to find out other ways of trying not only to increase my income because I wasn't getting what I deserved with my previous company. They were underutilizing me. They were undervaluing me the most. They were underpaying me. That is such that's such an understatement that they were underpaying me. Like, it was bad. Underappreciated amongst it all. At the end of the day, yes, I can get underpaid and all that, but being underappreciated, like, people recognize me, just like they knew me from me, they knew my character, but not getting an additional raise, not getting this amount of a benefit like other people were. And I was working my butt off, and then I had to move into some roles where I was doing more of the budget and business analysis with logistics. On top of that, I was working in the logistics field, helping out with HP. And it was a whole stretch because they had to do a whole move over. They were crossing over to a new company, like another company was crossing into another company. And then a company was being bought out on this end that we were helping being contracting for. And then so they had to release about like 30 plus people. I was one of them, unfortunately. And so I had to find ways of starting a business, and I had to understand what the online world was like. So I got into things like digital marketing agency, affiliate marketing, tried the e-commerce and all these different routes. And I grew businesses in these, and I tried them and I failed mistake after mistake. But a lot of what I made mistakes on was properly understanding my own business's structure, how to organize it. Can I accept a cash flow where it's a daily payment situation, even a weekly repayment? Monthly is not always going to be available. And even if it is, it doesn't make sense. And if I have bad credit, I didn't know, okay, what was my options? Who could I speak to before I go and apply? I want to make sure when I go and apply, I'm not wasting anybody's time, mine or yours. So if I have this credit score and I have this situation, what realistically can I get in the ballpark? I know I won't know until I fill in the application, but what's the ballpark? I can give you that. And so a lot of people, they avoid this. They don't even fix their credit score. They're like, well, if I get a bad credit business loan, well, I won't get approved for the amount I want, and I won't get the right terms I want. I won't even get the rates. With David Allen Capital, we calculate on total payback, not interest rates. So total payback meaning between a 1.19 to a 1.69 of your advanced amount, or a 1.19 to a 1.49. So for example, let's say in a situation where you have a 580 FICO and you have 60,000 per month, and this is consistent revenue. Like, more consistent revenue helps you. Your cash flow, the amount of deposits, credit, the checks, bank balances, negative bank balances, if any, what's remaining, what are the transactions you're making, what are the withdrawals, the amount of deposits in terms of number amount, not only how many times you're depositing in your bank per month. This all goes into understanding how much we can approve you for. So with a service here, if we can get you up to 2 million, we can try to approve you between 75% of your monthly, of your lowest month, and your average you take into consideration, to 200%. And if you're with Bank Breezy, it's only up to 75%. If you're with like the line of credit, we could look at something like a 150% to 200%. See how we can approve you for more? But the question is not how much can I get? It's always about what are the interest rates? What type of payment am I getting? And you may already know that because you've tried it with other services. And then two, you have a cash flow problem. It's your insufficient revenue on a daily basis. We don't take a future percentage of your credit card receivables. We don't ask for any of that. We just give you a fixed amount so you know what you're getting. So you're saying like one day I have 0 sales and then another day I have 300, then I have 500, and then you come back to 0 for a couple of days. Well, yeah, that person's going to complain and say, well, these things don't work because you have insufficient cash flow. So you're coming to me, maybe you don't know this. Maybe you do now. Maybe you missed it on my other pieces of content. And now you're thinking, now I have the answers. But you had to wait a week to get them. Why? Because you're barely tuning in. I've had this so many times where people are like, oh, I didn't know this. They applied like weeks ago. Then they come back to me a month later or 2 months or about a week or so, 5 days. Then they go, well, I didn't know that. Well, because you didn't look at the email I sent you. Or you're not even tuning into these lives. You're not even watching any of my video content. You're not going through my business loans. You haven't seen any of those TikTok videos. You haven't been on Instagram, Facebook. You're doing this. Blah, 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 blah. And that is not helping you. And that just shows your character. That just shows how much you're willing to evolve. And it shows that if you have bad credit, and you want to fix it, you want to increase it, you want to pay something off so you can increase that credit score, you're going to delay it because you would find resources. And there's stuff like this that I can help you with, especially fixing credits and stuff with FICO that I'll leave down below in the description. So make sure to look for that. But yeah, I mean, that's everything I guess I'm going to get into in this video. I have more that I could be getting into, but I'm going to leave it at that. So just to recap once more, is there are bad credit small business loans out there. But there are these like constraints. There are these little contingencies that you have to understand before you go and apply. You have to know that if you're in a specific industry, what are they requiring from me? If I have this amount in revenue, how much can I realistically get approved for with this bad credit? Or if I have better credit, the better credit you have and you have strong enough revenue and it's consistent, the more you can get approved for. If you're like you're doing 60,000 and I want 100,000. Well, do you think you'll get close to 100,000 if you have a 580 FICO, you have like 6 months in business? There's no way. That's just really unrealistic to get you. But because you're not tuning into my content, you're not even opening up those emails to see the underwriting guidelines. You're just opening up an email, being very impatient to click a link. So that is going to conclude everything in this video. Look for the David Allen Capital Link program down below in the description. And if you have an application that you started with them, you're unsure about it, it's all in your email. Usually I send you guys a personalized email and customized email. If not, you can fill out that form down below. And I'll leave content to how those applications look like. But if I don't have any feedback, what am I supposed to do? I'm like a deer in the headlights. What am I supposed to do if you start an application, you completely avoid just even responding to a simple email with a yes or a no, or it's just a simple text like I'm just trying to follow up with you and see where you are. I mean, you're not giving me any indication. You're just starting something and you're not finishing something. Just tell me you're not interested. Tell me that it doesn't make sense right now, that I'm going to come back in a month after I fix this or after I do this. So that will conclude everything from me in this video. Appreciate you all for being here. If you have not subscribed, please go ahead and do so and click that bell notification icon so you do not miss any future videos I come out with. And I very much so appreciate each and every one of you. Let's move our businesses forward without any stress, without any hassles. Stay plugged in, stay educated, and this will go a long ways for you. All right. Thank you.